This is Ranunculus 101 Hot Climate Edition. We have some beautiful white ranunculus that are just about to burst open in our garden. And just for a quick reference, we are shooting this on March 1st and we are in the Phoenix, Arizona area, a gardening zone 9B/10A. There are two components to having a beautiful ranunculus in your garden. The first one being is planting time. If you live in zones 8 and up, I would recommend a fall planting. You can plant them out in October or even November. If you live in zones 7 and below, you can start them indoors or in a greenhouse in the wintertime and transplant them outside in the spring. Ranunculus like a long, cool period to get established. That's why we plant them here in the fall. They grow leaves and roots all winter long, and then they bloom come late winter and early spring. The second part of this process is the pre-soaking process. Your corms are going to come in, and they're going to look like little dried asparagus roots, and you're going to want to soak your corms for 3 to 4 hours. Some people will put aeration at the bottom of their water bowl, or even just change out the water every 30 minutes to oxygenate the water. Now, after you soak your corms for 3 to 4 hours, you can do one of two things. You can first plant them right into the ground wherever you're planting them, or you can plant them into cell trays. If you're new to growing ranunculus, I always recommend planting them in cell trays for this reason. This is generally what a cell tray looks like. These are kind of small for ranunculus, so I would recommend either a 72 or even a 50 count cell tray. And when we plant them in the cell trays, we use seed starting mix just to give a really good drainage. The biggest thing and biggest reason why we plant them in the cell trays is so that they dry out. We want these corms to dry out in between waterings so that they can develop a root system. They stay too wet. If you plant them right in the ground into wet, heavy soil, they can rot on you, and we don't want that. We want our corms to thrive, and the best way to do that is to give them the best start. So that's why we always just start them in cell trays. And the biggest reasoning behind that is so that they dry out. It typically takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to develop a root system. Really, we just want roots on the plants. They don't really need a lot of foliage in order to transplant them out into the garden. We want the roots on the plant so that they can uptake water so they don't rot. The area that we start our corms in, it's kind of protected from the outside here, as you can see, and it stays a lot cooler in here. We want these root zones to be as chilled as possible, so we usually pick a cool place. On the concrete is usually a pretty good place to go. And we usually put them in a darker place like I showed you guys behind us. This really helps the plant develop a root system and not focus its energy on developing leaves just for the time being. We usually start our pre-soaking process and planting in trays at the end of October. That's typically when we start to cool down. We usually wait until our nighttime temperatures are in the 50s. And we use the same pre-soaking process with our anemone corms as well. They typically take a week or even 2 weeks longer than the ranunculus, just for reference. I hope you guys give ranunculus a try in your garden. Just remember to plant them at the proper time. And save this video for later because we'll have all the ranunculus corms available for purchase this upcoming September.